Hi, welcome back to the channel. I'm Chrissy Boyce with Mind Clarity Coaching, and today I want to provide some clarity on the importance that mindset has on perseverance. The reason I want to talk about perseverance and the importance of mindset is because I feel like recently I've felt like there's been a lot of things that I've been persevering through. I think the first one, the hardest one, was the death of my friend. Yeah, it's still hard to talk about. I feel like through that, I've probably lived a little bit more in the anger stage of grief. And I've allowed my thoughts to move into some not so great places. And then most recently, over the week, I've not been feeling well. Every once in a while, my body will flare up with different pains in just different areas of the body. And this time, it just felt a little unbearable, and it was bringing on feelings of hopelessness. Because I've been working on my mental health and my mindset, this has been a journey for many years. I have learned a lot of tools. And so when I go through a mental downtime, maybe I'm feeling depressed or agitated, frustrated, anything. When I'm feeling that way, I have all these wonderful tools that if I use them, they really do help to calm the energy. But sometimes, and I think if you're like me, you would agree, sometimes it's just easier to sit in the pain, especially if that pain is your familiar, because our brains, they want to keep us in what feels familiar. And the majority of my life, I experienced a lot of sadness and depression and anger. So for a long time, my normal was feeling sadness, depression, and anger. And that actually felt better to me than it did to feel, I don't want to say happy, but just, I don't want to say normal either. Even. When I was feeling even, where I wasn't high or I wasn't low, it almost felt wrong. And I feel like I'm experiencing that in my body right now. Since I've had such a journey with my mindset and my mental healing, now I'm working on my physical healing. And so just like it was when I first started working on my mental health, I would have flare-ups and it was messy and I would cry and I would just go through emotions that just didn't feel good. And that's normal. That's normal when you're working on yourself. The same thing's happening with my body. I'm doing more things. I'm walking more. I'm stretching. I'm more active. And so my body is halting because it's not been my familiar for a long time. And when you're feeling angry and depressed over a loss, when you're grieving, it makes it really easy to sit and do nothing and to just let your thoughts kind of run wild. And that makes things worse because we attract what we focus, what we put our attention on. I usually always get to a point where the pain just feels like too much, whether it's physical pain or emotional pain, and I just don't want to feel it anymore. So then I kick into gear and I use the tools that I have to start to feel better, because happiness is important to me. But I've never experienced the death of a friend, of a really good friend. I've never understood it. And so I let myself sit in the anger for quite a while. And I was watching a show the other day, and it was a Danny and Brinkley he was doing, it was a highlight of a seminar, and he got on and he was talking about his near-death experience. And then at the end, he said something that just shocked me. It shocked me into waking up a little bit. And he said something like, okay, now I want you to be ready for this. He said, I want you to be ready because I'm going to tell you something that's going to be really hard to hear. And then he goes on to say, nobody ever, 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 ever dies. They don't, so get over it. And I just remember sitting there because I was really comfortable in my anger at that point. And when he said that, I was like, oh, my ego just kind of like got jolted, like, how dare you, you know? But it helped me. It helped me because I wanted to learn more. So I got his book, Secrets of the Light, and I haven't read the whole thing, but what I've read so far has been really comforting. And it just, you know, the thought of the people that I've loved, like my grandmother and my aunt, and now my friend who's passed away, that they're not dead, that they're still there. The thought, just thinking that feels better. And I noticed that just by thinking that, just by feeling just that little bit better, I started to improve. I started to want to get up. I started to have better energy. I started to be less angry. And it coincides with everything that I know. You know, we attract what we put our attention to. And because I was putting my attention to anger and to frustration and to pain, I was receiving things to be angry and frustrated about. And I was actually experiencing physical pain in my body. The second that I started to believe something different. Now my friend is still gone. He's still gone, and that sucks. But the thought that he's not dead, if that makes any sense, was comforting to me, and it was just enough comfort to help get me out of a dark place. Grief is hard to talk about because everybody experiences grief so differently. And there is no right and there is no wrong way to experience grief. It's difficult when you lose someone you love. And I was nervous to talk about the way I felt. But I felt comforted, and so I just wanted to share that. Hoping that maybe someone else could see that just that simple thought, just that simple shift in the mindset, it was so small, so small. He's gone, but he's not gone. Just that simple little shift made me feel good enough, just good enough to get me out of the downward spiral I was in. And so I really just wanted to come on. And by the way, like, my pain started going away. I started to be able to walk again. I really do feel how my emotions affect my physical body. Just that simple mindset shift helped me get out of the downward spiral I was in. Now, if you want to be in a downward spiral, there's nothing wrong with that. It's your choice. We all have our choices. But I was sick of feeling sick. And I think when you get to that point, then it's time to make a change. And that change simply came from just a shift. Just a shift. Helped me move in a higher energetic frequency towards a better direction. So I just wanted to come on. Me and Taco here just wanted to come on. He's such a good dog. And share that experience with you, and just let you know, if you're experiencing pain, if you're experiencing grief, if you're experiencing sadness, hopelessness, it's important to feel how you feel. It's important not to try and stuff it down and make it go away, because the more you do that, the longer it stays around. But if you let yourself feel it, and just really feel it and cry, feel hopeless, feel sad, feel angry, feel it. It doesn't last as long. And then when you add that little shift in the thought, just a thought that makes you feel a little bit better than the thoughts that you're currently having that are sending you in that downward spiral, just that little shift is enough to help you feel better. And it's okay to feel better. Sometimes it doesn't feel okay, especially if that's not your familiar, but I promise you it's okay to feel better. It's okay to feel good even when you're in grief. So I just wanted to come on and tell you what I was experiencing and encourage you to keep going. Keep going. Don't give up. Pain is very temporary. Everything is very temporary. This too shall pass, and it will start to get better, especially if you start to focus on what that better would look like. I'm Chrissy Boyce. If you found this helpful, please like and subscribe or share it with someone you feel it may help. Have a wonderful evening. Sorry, my dog is here. He's just always in the way, and he wants to be a part of everything I do, but when I'm recording anything, he has to be in the middle of it distracting me.